greatest revival and the greatest response to God's call this generation has ever seen. But listen today, if you're not praying at all, don't feel overwhelmed. Just start. Turn to a student next to you, say, hey, start. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes before bed. That's the starting point. But better yet, set an appointment with God. Same time, same place, every day, and you keep it. Because when you pray, you're not just talking, you're locking in with the Lord. You're turning your heart to hear the voice of God. It's prayer before purpose every single time. Now, step 4, you've got to heed before hearing. I know, heed isn't a word you're throwing around at high school, middle school right now. It is in the Bible over 80 times, and it means, hey, pay close attention. Give careful consideration. So once you're praying, you've got to learn to listen. That means silencing distractions and tuning in your spiritual ears. You've got to pay attention before you expect direction and instruction from the Lord. Samuel was living in the temple when God called him, but he didn't recognize the voice at first. It took Eli's guidance for Samuel to learn how to respond so he could finally say, speak! For your servant hears. Samuel had to heed, to focus, to tune in. And a lot of students feel confused, like, why can't I hear from God? Why can't I figure out His will for my life? But the truth is, there's too much noise in your life. Too much music, too much media, too much gaming, too much social media, too many secular influences. Let me show you what I mean. I want right now everyone in the room to think of your favorite food. Get one thing locked in your mind. Maybe someone else, think about your precious pet's name that you left back home. Depending on where you're from or your choice of cuisine, it could be one and the same. So you have it in your mind. Now on the count of 3, I want you to yell it around. Is everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. That's exactly what I expected to hear. As much as I wanted to know something about you, I could not. It's too many voices speaking at one time. But now that it's quiet, I can focus in on 1 or 2 and discover something I never knew about you. 1 Kings 19 says, God often speaks in a still, small voice. If you want to hear Him, you've got to silence the noise and create space to listen. You've got to heed before hearing. Step 5, you got to be transformed before transferred. Let God change who you are before He transforms and transfers the details and the plans for what's next in your life. Romans 12:2 says, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. You don't just receive a calling and immediately leap into action in the next moment. God always shapes the person before He sends them. And He wants to transform your thinking. He wants to transform your mindset, your behaviors, and your values. Don't expect to answer the call if you're still trying to copy this world and you're trying to conform to it. Let God renew your mind, and then clarity about His will follow. Final step, step six. You must be cleansed for the call. In Isaiah 6, he has a vision where an angel begins to come down and touches his lips with a hot coal, symbolizing a deep cleansing of sin. Then after the cleansing comes the call in Isaiah 6:8. Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" Then I said, "Here am I, send me." Isaiah couldn't say "send me" until God first purified his heart. This isn't surface level, it's deep, it's refining, it is life-changing. And Paul echoed this in Philippians 3:8. He said, "I count all things lost for the excellence of the knowledge of Christ Jesus my Lord. And I count them as rubbish that I may gain Christ." Like Paul, you must say, everything else is worthless compared to knowing Jesus. I'll be honest, transparent with you today. When I was a teenager like yourself, and God started calling me, I had to make some tough choices like many before me. Some of my best friends, they weren't intentionally holding me back, but our routines, our conversations, our choices, they didn't align with where God was leading me. I remember sitting outside of our youth center on the steps, looking at my friends and trying to muster up the courage and finally saying, something has to change. It was awkward, it was hard, but God honored that moment. And if God is calling you this week to greater purpose, He's also calling you to make some hard choices, to sacrifice, to purge, and to purify, to let go. If you want to fully walk in God's will, you must be cleansed for the call. All right, I need a break. Turn to somebody next to say, hey, you need a break. So everybody, I want you to stand up for just a moment. Got 54 minutes. It is Friday morning of Youth Congress. Wake up that kid next to you, pulled an all-nighter. Everyone say, one hand. Everybody say, two hands. Everybody say, none. Those are your three options. One hand, you're gonna raise one hand. Smart group here. Two hands, you're gonna raise both. None, just gotta put your hands on your hips. Now I brought with me some cutting edge technology today. Here it is. Jumpstart's got nothing on this. So I'm gonna spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on, if that was your choice, you're out. You gotta sit down. So right now, make a choice. One hand, two hand, or none, and hold it. Here we go. Amazon, all right? One hand. If you got one hand, have a seat. We've made some adjustments, ready to go. Reset. Everybody can make a new choice. One hand, two hand, or none. Here we go. Lock it in. Here we go. None. Have a seat. Once again, accountability. Watch your neighbor. No cheating. Here we go. Make a choice. One hand, two hand, or none. Here we go. None. We're rolling now. All right. Two more. Here we go. Make a choice. One hand, two hand, or none. Lock it in. Here we go. One hand. Last spin. Here we go. lock it in. Here we go. Two hands, your honor. Give them a hand. You may be seated. You win nothing.